Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report, reporting the news as it happens, discussing controversial issues that affect you, others, and the future, dedicated to finding strategies and answers in the world gone mad. And now, here is the VOR Watchman Report. Welcome to the VOR Watchman Report. Isaac Gutierrez here. Thank you for joining me today on our broadcast. There's so much going on in the world today, and we need some answers. There's a great move to silence many voices. If you don't believe in a certain view, then many people are being shut down. This is why I came out with this VOR Watchman Report, bringing you headline news and solutions in a world gone mad. There are many stories and events taking place right now. As we have moved into October, it's no longer just one big event, but multiple scenarios that are affecting our nation. How often do you hear the news and watch the headlines and never take any action to prepare for the crisis? We think it would never come to our shores or even our front doors, yet many live as though nothing is happening. When the signs are all around us that we are not to wait until the last minute to take action. That is the purpose of the VOR Watchman Report, to give you news as it happens, prophetic insight, and solutions and strategies in a world gone mad. With the distrust in our mainstream media, many are turning to alternative resources to find out what is really going on. In recent news, George Soros, the billionaire, has bypassed the FCC ruling to purchase 200 radio stations from Audacy. It is the second largest radio broadcast network in the country. The FCC fast-tracked this and approved this purchase. Audacy was $400 million in debt, and George Soros has taken it over. There were 200 stations that are within this network. Many are political, many are conservative, and many are music stations. Can you see something that is on the horizon? Even some disc jockeys who are part of this network believe that he's doing this to influence politics, policy, and society. This is huge. That means that conservative popular radio programs are going to be censored. Are they trying to silence the conservatives, the Christians, even liberal voices? You tell me. I have another program called the VOR Radio Show where I shared on censorship that was coming to our nation. And you know why they're happening? Because nobody's doing anything about it. We're too afraid to speak up. We're too afraid to stand up. I spoke about this, that there will be great censorship, and all other views that don't line up with radical agendas will be silenced. So many probably thought this could never happen, but just weeks before the major election, it's happening. Now you say, like most people, it doesn't affect anything. This is not going to do anything. This is going to take away free speech, people. It has already begun, and there will be no choice but to look for alternatives that will not be silenced. But I'm telling you, if they've gone after radio, which they already gone after TV is more liberal. TV hardly has any type of free speech anymore, and now they're going after radio. They wanted to shut down radio, the voices that are trying to bring truth, and they're being silenced. What do you think they're going after next? They're going after online. There are alternatives. This is something, that's why we started this Watchman Report, because many are getting our news from all these major networks that are all connected to one side. We don't have both sides anymore. There's only one side that you believe in, and the other side is bashed. The other side is spoken evil of. That's why we have the VOR Watchman Report. But I wanted to do this because there are so many that are now focusing on signs of the times. And this is why the VOR Watchman Report came out for a time such as this. We have entered into a new era of end-time events in our nation's history. From hurricanes to strikes to the ongoing battle in the Middle East. These chains of events are about to challenge the American people and push us into a devastating spiral. Let's go ahead and move on to the headlines. Millions of Americans are out of power. The death toll is still rising in this apocalyptic Hurricane Helene that hit the shores of the East Coast. It has devastated North Carolina and other states. It was reported that the property damage of the aftermath is said to be in the price range of $100 billion or more. As the Appalachian Mountains were already experiencing a downpour of rain, the hurricane came in an increased precipitation to where the estimation is in 3 days, some areas have experienced 33.3 inches of rain, which amounts to nearly 3 months of precipitation. It's even estimated it's like 2.5 feet of rain, just massive. It's causing landslides. It's causing houses and properties to be completely destroyed. Destruction of roads and bridges. This hurricane is being called a biblical devastation, a biblical flood unlike any have seen. And what does this mean to our nation? Let's continue on with our headlines. This just happened midnight on October 1st, 2024. Coast dock workers on strike. U.S. East Coast and the Gulf Coast dock workers began their first large-scale strike in nearly 50 years on Tuesday, halting the flow of about half the country's ocean shipping after negotiations for a new labor contract broke down over wages. 36 ports across the nation have gone on strike, as the ports and 45,000 dock workers of the International Shoresmen Union went on strike at midnight, October 1st, 2024. This strike could last for weeks or months. If the strike continues, it will cause a disruption in the supply chain and spike the prices of groceries and other products, delays in goods reaching households and businesses if it drags on for weeks. The strike blocks everything from food to automobile shipments across dozens of ports from Maine to Texas. A disruption analyst warned that it will cost the economy billions of dollars a day, threatening jobs and potentially stoke inflation. And what we're finding out is that this is going to be major. This is not just a disruption of the United States. This is a disruption of the world, because here's the dilemma. This is the problem. This is what one of the negotiators said when they were dealing with this contract. They were saying everything in America comes off of ships. Everything in America is imported because we no longer produced anything here in our country. Instead, we send it out overseas. And now without these ports being open, these goods are not going to get to the people's hands. They're not going to get into businesses. They're not going to get to the grocery stores. The automobiles are not going to get shipped. So we have a huge major problem that could cause a shift in our economy. I talked about this in the Slow Fade, a prophetic newscast that I gave that you can find out on our YouTube channel. Go to the VOR.net. I talked a little bit about how it's going to lead to a shift in our economy. This is before this even happened. In fact, this word came out 2 years ago, before all of this was taking place. I'm not the only one talking about this. There are some major watchmen out there that are talking about this and have predicted it. And how do they know these things were coming before they happened? Because they're not tuned into CNN. They're not tuned into MSNBC. They're not tuned into all the local news. They're hearing it directly. They got an open line to God, and he's telling them exactly what's coming so they can prepare for it. I don't think many people are prepared for what they're about to come into. But we shouldn't be fearful about it, but we should be prepared. That's why we're doing this prepping, talking about what we need to do to prep. We still have time because we're about to enter into, this is not something that people like to talk about. What if we're entering into a famine? What if this is the beginning of a famine? What is this beginning of something worldwide that's going to affect you? It's going to affect your life. It's going to affect your family. We need to understand the times that we're living in so we can properly prepare for it. Just listen to the words of Harold Daggett. He's the president and chief negotiator for the International Longshoremen's Association, the ILA. He issued this stark warning early in September as the dock workers union prepared for a significant strike. Listen to what he says here. He says, these people don't know what a strike is, Daggett said, as he warned his union could cripple the U.S. economy. Everything in the United States comes on a ship, he said. And he went on to explain how he expects the strike to unfold as it starts to impact multiple sectors. Listen to this. He said, in the first week, it will be all over the news. Boom, boom, boom. The second week, guys can't sell cars because the cars aren't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. The third week, he says, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming. The steel is not coming in. The lumber is not coming in. They lose their jobs. Everyone is hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are now. Do you see how this strike is something that hasn't happened in 50 years? It could possibly, if they don't come up to an agreement, it could possibly cripple not just the U.S. economy. They're talking about losing millions of dollars a day. Millions of dollars a day. It's all over the news. They said it represents more than 85,000 workers. And they've been trying to negotiate this. And as many as 45,000 members have walked off their jobs to picket and to protest and to strike. Wow. This is going to be devastating if something doesn't come together. And I'm going to be telling you in our next broadcast of the Watchman Report what we're going to be doing, what we should be doing. We should have been preparing. We should already have our supplies. I've heard this man that was talking about prepping. He said we should have at least 3 months supplies of goods, food, and things of necessity that you need in case something goes wrong. They've been expecting this to happen, and many people didn't really take it serious until now. In fact, you can tell that the stores are ransacking. People are pulling things off the shelves. They're afraid because they're hearing what the news is saying. Like he said, it's the first week it's going to be on the news. It's going to be blasted on social media, and it's going to cause a panic. It's already causing a panic. So let's continue on at where this is going to head to and what we need to do. The VOR will be bringing you a special report on how to get prepped if you haven't done so. And this is not longer a maybe. This is a must. There's no time to be wasting because these events are going to accumulate into greater problems. We are not just seeing one thing happen, but convergence of things happening one after other. There are waves of disruptions, waves of change, waves of destruction. It's been said that only 1% of the population is prepared for a crisis, a global catastrophe. That's really sad that our modern living has caused many to be unprepared for the coming days. The first thing that always happens when there's a panic is that people ransack the food, they buy up all the toilet paper, and they buy up all the water. And then after a while, they start buying everything else. But here's the problem that we have. It's all for us. It's all for me, myself, and I and my family. But you're not helping anybody else. That's the point of the VOR Watchman Report, is not to just be about ourselves. We need to become united and help one another in these times. Families coming together, churches coming together, communities coming together to work these things out, because the end times are not coming. They're here. When people talk about the end times, they have no idea what's going to consist of. And when they see things like this, they think things are going to go back to normal. But that's not true. So going back to this is why I'm talking about this. So this union that's demanding higher wages, they have shut down cargo, containers, filled with goods and products that are to be distributed. It's going to affect stores, trucking companies, and most of our products are imported from other countries. Other countries are going to go find another port. So this is a big deal. A similar strike took place 50 years ago. And what is the solution? What are we going to do in these types of crises that are coming our way? That's just a few. We have the war on Israel that we're going to be talking about soon. We have AI, artificial intelligence, this push for globalism. I've been talking about this and how we're moving into this global rhetoric. It's all over politics. It's all over this election season. You understand that when it comes to elections, people just get evil. We go to war over our politics. And I'm going to talk about this in the upcoming programs. We're going to talk about the political spirit. We're going to talk about globalism. We're going to give you a glimpse into what truly is Marxism, what truly is communism, why our nation is moving in this direction, and why it's not healthy. Then I'm going to give you some prophetic insights and words that we're giving so you can understand when these things come to pass. You're going to know that the VOR Watchman wasn't just giving you a bunch of fluff. I'm giving you headline news and give you this prophetic insight so that you will know that what's being spoken here is truth. We're all about getting the truth out and reaching people to turn them back to our only solution. And this is not a solution that people want to hear. We don't want to hear that we need to turn to God. We don't want to hear that we need to turn to morality. We think that that we're fine, but we're in a sinking ship. We're in a crisis of massive proportions, epic proportions, biblical proportions. And if we don't get our act together, it's going to change completely. I say within the next 5 years, things are not going to look like they looked before. So we need to start preparing for what's coming. I'm going to be giving you an insight, what I call the end time preppers, getting you ready for the days ahead. We're going to talk about prepping. We're going to talk about the necessary things that you need. There's people already doing it, but I want to reach those that hear this voice, that hear the voice of revival, that listen to the Watchman Report, who are understanding that there are alternatives that are necessary and they are here for a reason, because destruction is coming from every direction. But God has the solutions. He knows what is happening. That's why he brings those watchmen out. He brings those who can understand the times that they're living in so with that we can make sense of it. Can you really be prepared for the days ahead? This is what it's all about. So what is the purpose? What should we do? You know what we should do? It's the best time to come together. It's the best time to join together with other people, and let's begin to help one another. We have become a narcissistic society and a narcissistic country. What's in it for me? If it's all about me. And that's why when it comes to all of these different positions and all these different policies, and everybody has a view on everything. But why can't we come together? Why can't we work these things out? Because that's not the purpose that the elite, the globalists want. They want to completely deconstruct. They want to completely take over, shut things down, and do it their way. But I believe that there's many people who are awakening. They're not woke. They're awakening. They're waking up to the fact that there is a lot of stuff that's not right. We shouldn't be a part of, and that people are resisting the tyranny. Resist the tyranny. Resist the ideology. Don't go down that way, because you're going to find ourselves in a downward spiral. I'm also be talking about the economy, that there is a global catastrophe on the way. I brought this in a VOR Watchman special report that I put up on my YouTube channel called the slow fade prophecy. You got to go and listen to it. It is going to give you an understanding of where we're heading in the next few years. Then we're going to talk about the domino collapse. We're talking about how everything is being put together. So it's going to affect our economy. It's affecting our religion. It's affecting our government. It's affecting but the VOR Watchman Report is ahead. And I want you to keep listening, to keep tuning in, get your family, get your friends, everybody that you can get the word out and let them know there is an alternative radio. There's an alternative talk show, an alternative newscast that's going to steer you straight. We're going to give you answers. We're going to give you solutions. We're going to get down to not just giving you information about the problem, but solutions to the problems. Let's get it done. I think that we can do it. I think that a lot of people are ready for shows like this, programming like this. I'm not the only one. There's many that are stepping up into this because, like I told you in the beginning of the show, there's great censorship that is about to take over talk radio. But those who are creating their networks, keep doing it. Get out there. Start your own thing. Stay under the radar. And I'm also believing that there are those who may be listening to this program that want to connect with it and be a part of helping us reach beyond what we can do. I can do so much. Whoever I'm connected to can do so much, but we can make this thing go viral. We can make this thing global if you get behind it. We need some few good people that will step up to the plate and help make this go beyond its capacity. You want to be a part of it? Go to the VOR.net. At the VOR.net, it is our website. It is our hub where you can find out all about the VOR radio show, the VOR Watchman Report, our old archives of the VOR. You can also find articles, videos. Everything is connected there. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to go to the different podcast platforms. We've made it simple and easy access to go there. There are hundreds of audio programs, videos that can help you. And this news segment, the VOR Watchman Report, is our newscast. We're getting into the news, and we believe that it's going to be very helpful to many people. Okay, so my next program, I'm going to be sharing on the rise of the digital gods. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to get down to what it's all about, what it's coming within the next 5 to 10 years. We're going to see ahead so that we can prepare for the future. Are you ready? This is Isaac with the VOR Watchman Report. Isaac Gabriel reporting the news as it happens. Thank you for listening to our special report. We do have a special report coming on. I'm going to be talking about censorship, and I'm going to be talking about how you can become a part of the VOR network. We're growing, but we need your help to take this around the world. All right, we'll see you again in our next program. Bye-bye.